Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of solving quadratic equations, specifically how we can solve them by completing the square, and we'll do it in 5 minutes or less. So we have a very basic quadratic equation here, x squared plus 4x minus 12 equals 0, and we want to find the solutions. Well, we need to know what our target is. So in the ideal situation, we can make our quadratic equation look like this. X plus a squared, and then equals whatever number might happen to be over there on the side. We'll just call it 0 right there. Because if we can do that, well then it's pretty easy to figure out what x is, right? Because we can just take the square root of both sides. So what is that x plus a squared if we were to FOIL that out? Well, that means x plus a, right? So we're going to say that's going to be, FOIL it out, x squared plus ax plus ax plus a squared. So what we're looking for here is, if we can make something look like this, x squared plus 2ax, I'm going to combine those ax's, plus a squared, right? Then we are in business, because then we can take this right here, we could simplify it with the x plus a squared and then take the square root and we're golden. Okay? So that's what we're looking at here. So what we really want is we want to see if we can make this equation look like this. And what typically happens is we will start with this. What we want is you want the this first term right here. You want to keep that. You want to keep this. And if you have that c term right there, because this is right now in standard form, you want to move that over to the other side. So let's add 12 to both sides. And we're going to say x squared plus 4x equals 12. All right. So now we look like this is the beginnings of this right here. So we're going to say that this 4x is in the 2ax position. So let's say 4x equals 2ax. Right? You really don't want a coefficient in front of that x squared. It just makes things more difficult here. So now I want to solve for a. Well, I can divide both sides by 2x. And look what I have left. The 2 and the x cancel out, so now I've just got a. And then the x just cancel out. 4 over 2 is 2. So now I know my a is 2. Okay, so remember this missing position here is a squared. So that's why we call it completing the square. Basically, you're going to take half of this b term right here. You're just going to take half of it and square it. So what is a squared? That's going to be 2 squared, so we'll just call that 4. Now, you can't just add 4 to one side of the equation without adding it to another side of the equation. But now I have my x squared plus 2ax plus a squared. I have this format because I've completed the square. So what I can do now is I can simplify this, and I can say I want to take this and I want to make it look like this. So this is going to be my, I want to make it my x plus a squared. Well, it's x plus, remember my a was 2, and if you FOIL that out, x plus 2 squared gets you x squared plus 4x plus 4. So we're good, equals 12 plus 4 is 16. So now let's square root this thing. So the square root's going to cancel themselves out there. So I've got x plus 2 equals, now we need to be careful here. It's not just 4, it's plus or minus 4. Because 4 times 4 makes 16, but negative 4 times negative 4 also makes 16. So now we're getting close. So we can split this out into two different things here. We can say x plus 2 equals positive 4. And we can say x plus 2 equals negative 4. So now I'm going to get my two solutions, which most, not all, but most of your quadratic equations have two solutions. Right? So let's subtract 2 from both sides. So that's going to be x equals 2. That's one of them. Then subtract 2 from both sides. We're going to say x equals negative 6. All right, so those are my solutions. And if you were to plug in either 2 or negative 6 back into your original equation right here, it would make a true statement, and it would make it equal to 0.